If you have a vision or a desire, how do you know whether is it from your higher self or from your ego? In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 ways to tell the differences. When you know the differences, you will be able to create something that is truly meaningful and fulfilling to you. So number 1, push and pull. Both your vision from your higher self and ego will give you a feeling that you have to do it. But the difference is, for the higher self, you feel like you have to do it because you're caught towards it, you're guided, you feel like there is something pulling you to do it, and you feel inspired to manifest your vision. It's like you want to get out of your bed every morning and you're eager to implement and execute your vision. But when it comes to the vision from your ego, you feel like you have to do it, you feel like you need to do it, you feel like if I don't do it, I die. The vibe, the feeling is different. The vision that you have is part of your identity, and if you don't do it, if you don't complete your vision, it feels like you are letting go of your identity, you feel like you're killing your identity, and that's why you feel like you have to do it. An analogy for this is when your vision comes from a higher self, you are like following the current of the river. It's easy, it's effortless. It's like you're going with the flow of the wave and the river. The river is just carrying you towards the direction that you want. But for a vision from the ego, it feels like you're pushing a heavy or a huge rock up a mountain. It feels very like tedious, it feels very effortful, it feels like you are pushing something against gravity, and when you push against something, you feel the resistance. Number 2, putting it aside or can't put it aside. So when it's a vision from a higher self, you put it aside, it keeps knocking on your door. It's like you cannot not do it because it keeps asking you or calling you to do it. It may not even be something that you actually think you want to do, but because there is always this calling, then you like, okay, I'll just do it. But if your vision is from your ego, you can't put it aside. You actually will think very obsessively about achieving the vision. So for example, you may want to attract a certain amount of money, or you want to attract a specific person in your life. You just keep thinking, how am I going to get the money? How am I going to get the person to like me? But when you compare with your higher self, the vision, you could put it aside, and yet the ideas keep flowing to you. You don't have to try so hard. So for example, when I started to write books, the ideas just keep flowing and I just keep writing them down and putting them into folders. It is the same as for this YouTube channel. Once I started creating this YouTube channel, I started to receive more and more inspiration, more and more ideas. Number 3, does the vision come from the inside or does it come from the outside? If it's a vision from a higher self, you're connected with the universe, you're connected with your spiritual self, and you receive the calling, you receive the vision, and it's something that is from the inside out. You have an inspiration, you have an idea to do something, and you want to execute it, and you want to implement it and manifest it in the external world. Even if you saw someone who do something that you want to do and you feel inspired, that inspiration actually comes from the inside. Because when you see someone do something that you want to do but you're afraid of doing, it stirs something out within you, and that's why you feel moved to do the same. If it's a vision from your ego, it's usually from the outside in. For example, when you see someone with a beautiful house, a loving relationship, a loving partner, or a lot of money, or a fulfilling career, and you want to get the thing that the other person have, it is actually from the outside in. Nothing inside you is being stirred. You're not inspired. You just want to have what the other people have. And more often than not, this kind of outside in vision is from social or parental expectation of you. For example, you may want to be a doctor, but this idea or this vision came from your parents. Your parents want you to be a doctor, or they expect you to be a doctor. So to please them and to get validation from them, you do what they want you to do. Another example could be you are single and you see that everybody are attached and everybody are married, they start their own family and have children, and you feel the pressure to do the same. And that is an ego-driven calling. It's not something that is truly inspired within. Number 4, feel good with the process versus feel good with the outcome. So if it's a vision from a higher self, you feel good when going in the same direction of your vision. When you turn your back against your vision and you go the opposite direction, you feel kind of lost, depressed, and unfulfilled. After I published my first book, I went into an animation career. And within 3 months, I know that the animation career is not for me because it doesn't feel good. My intuition knows that it's not right for me. I don't feel inspired. I don't feel moved to do animation. If it's a vision that is inspired by a higher self, you will feel fun in the process. You will enjoy the process. Whenever I write or share my insight with other people, I feel this inspiration. I receive this calling to do it. Even when I face something that I don't feel like doing, like marketing and sales, because my calling is so strong, I just have the desire to learn more about them. If your vision is from an ego, you will feel very different. You think that you need to reach your destination before you feel good. The ego focuses more on the outcome. If I get this job, then I'll feel happy. If I get this certain amount of money, then I feel happy. If I get this partner, this specific partner, then I'll feel happy. You don't really enjoy the process of reaching your vision. You're just doing something so they can reach your outcome that you desire. Number 5, satisfied versus unsatisfied. So both the ego and spirit wants more, but your higher self is always satisfied at every moment of the time. It appreciates incompletion. It doesn't need to reach the outcome before it feels satisfied. Your spirit wants more because it's natural to grow and expand. On the other hand, if your desire comes from the ego, you will never feel satisfied. You will keep wanting more and more to fill up the bottomless pit within you. After you achieve one goal, you will go for another goal and another and another. Number 6, expansion versus contraction. When you have a vision, check it with your body. Oftentimes when we have vision, we focus a lot on our mind and we project what we want, we see what we want. But to know whether is it from a higher self or ego, you will want to check how your body feels. When you speak your vision out loud, does it energize you? Does it make you feel alive? If it's a vision from a higher self, when you think about it, you feel expansion, you feel joy, you feel love and happiness. But if it's something from an ego, you feel contract, you feel small, you shrink. Your body contract when you're doing something that isn't aligned with your higher self or your spiritual self. Sometimes you hear people say, what if my vision is something bad? Well, that vision is not from a higher self, it's from your ego. When your desire is from your ego, it's very mind-based. You want power, you want more control over others. Your vision makes you feel good for a short moment because it builds the narrative of the ego. But if you tune in with your body, you actually feel that you shrink and you contract. Sometimes you may have a strong desire and calling to do something, but then fear and doubt started creeping in. So for example, when I start writing my second book, I felt so inspired to do so. But then the next day I feel like, will anybody want to read my books? Will I be able to make a living out of my writing? So people may be unsure whether their calling is really their calling because they have so much resistance to it. Know that you can have a desire and a calling and a vision to do something, but at the same time, you can also have the fear and the resistance and doubts of doing it. These are two separate things, and whether you take action will depends on whether your fear is bigger than your calling or your calling is bigger than your fear. So for example, 8 years ago, I actually recorded 3 videos that I want to post on my YouTube channel. But then fear started creeping in and I decided not to post them. 7 years later, this calling to start a YouTube channel came back again. This is after my spiritual awakening, after I attended a speaking course, and after I have practiced more speaking and become more confident. The calling and vision never left me. It is just waiting for me to be ready to implement it. If you have a strong calling to do something but you feel fearful about following your vision, check out this next video on how to overcome imposter syndrome.